What is going on with our global markets within the last 24 to 48 hours? We went from yesterday, literally Black Monday type of crash, where we saw on Japan's markets, the Nikkei was down about 11%, and we haven't seen such a crash since 1987, to now today, where Japan's market has opened up on Tuesday, and they're now up, and they've rebounded their loss. So, quite essentially, Japan's market made no sense. The carryover theory with the yen made zero sense. It was not a valid theory. It only lasted about 24 hours, and now we're waiting to see what is going on. Did something happen behind closed doors? Maybe the Bank of Japan announced some sort of cut, but as to my knowledge, as to right now, it has not been announced to the public. Or maybe Japan is just extremely good at market manipulation. But yeah, we did also see a bit of a reaction today with our markets, a pretty big pullback. Nvidia, for example, was down a lot. Many others were as well. The big tech stocks were down. And it's making you wonder, is this based off of Japan? Is this based off of the geopolitical tensions that we're seeing in the Middle East between Israel and Iran? As they're saying that maybe some sort of invasion might happen this week. We saw Lockheed Martin climb to an extreme amount. But yeah, pretty much this whole last 24 hours in the market has been built off almost zero fundamental analysis, in my opinion. And it's making zero sense, essentially. Must be some sort of intervention happening behind closed doors. So not only has the Nikkei been now moving up, but also SPY futures are moving up, and I'm expecting a very large bull rally tomorrow. So the big question is, why on earth is this happening? How did we go from such a large, staggering loss yesterday to now today in Japan, where it's absolutely rebounding to what it was before, and it's even climbing back to last Friday's levels? So what's the answer? I think it's quite simple. It's just a market overreaction to the yen carryover theory, as well as the interest rates that we saw, some price imbalances as well. And last but not least, to add all the icing on the cake, was the current tensions that are going on right now, as we've seen that Russia is sending planes to Iran, potentially planning to attack Israel. Many were claiming that happened early this week. We saw situation room news with Biden right now and Kamala. So all of that created a perfect storm, in my opinion, to pull a rug pull to kind of correct the values of the markets for this week. But I do think tomorrow it's going to bounce right back. And this was a kind of, I want to say, a bear trap for many. But I do believe that it's still scary to invest right now in the market. It's super volatile. The bid to ask ratios are not worth it. And what I'd be doing, and what I think is happening right now, is that it all comes down to equities versus credit. I don't think Powell will step in. We saw last Wednesday on the transcripts that it seemed like he was pretty offside with all this going on. And even though the equities are seeming weak and we need some price corrections in those, right now credit still seems fine, and that's the main thing that is driving the Fed. So many were claiming earlier this week, or even today or yesterday, that we might see some sort of interest rate cut to like an emergency interest rate cut. But if I'm going to be honest, I don't think it'll happen. I think the market will do just fine without it. It's until credit becomes vulnerable, that's when it starts to get very, very shaky. But honestly, it's been extremely shaky. I don't think, honestly, in my opinion, it's off of zero fundamental. Like, Nvidia is holding up the S&P 500. We saw the Magnificent Seven holding up the S&P like crazy. And honestly, yes, a recession is more than due. But with elections around the corner, I think right now everyone's kind of on the sidelines. Volume is kind of getting lower than usual. And nothing big will happen until probably the next coming months. I want to say maybe September, October, November. But yeah, if you want more news like this for daily market updates, make sure you like and subscribe. And also check out MattFolio on X, as I do post live updates with my videos for you guys to see, share, and view.